Welcome to the Throwdown with Matt, a podcast celebrating the art of professional wrestling. We feature live stream chats with wrestlers, promoters, and others involved in the industry. Tonight is episode 138 of the Throwdown, and my guest is Atlanta-based pro wrestler and musician VonLaFlare. Von trains at WWA4 under AR Fox and has been wrestling for around 9 months. Von competes heavily on the indie scene around the Southeast. So, without further delay, let's throw down.
It's showtime, folks!
Throwdown Nation. We are live. It is a Thursday. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 138 of the Throwdown, and today we are throwing down with a guy who walks in two worlds. He is a rising name in both professional wrestling and music, Atlanta-based pro wrestler and musician, the one and only VonLaFlare. How you doing today, Von?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. Like I said before we went on the air, man, I've been looking forward to this. And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have any questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. And we've already got a bunch of people showing up in the chat room on Instagram. We've got
What's up?
We've got recent guests Missy Long. We've got Alex. We've got Josh. We've got KJ Valentine. We've got Don Miguel. And we've got April.
Okay.
But
Hi, April.
Anyway, we will go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling. Actually, I think this tomorrow is going to make 9 months. I started on November 18th, I believe, if I can remember. Either October or November. I don't remember, but 9 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, piggybacking onto that, how long have you been involved with music?
First off, I grew up in a music family. Whether it was my uncle and my cousins that are older than me DJing, my cousins dance. One of my older cousins is a Jamaican DJ, aka rapper. And my dad used to rap when he was younger, but as far as making music and singing, I've been doing it since I can remember. Really started producing and putting out music within the past 7 to 10 years. So yeah, I started real young.
Nothing wrong with that. That's how you get good and get your reps in.
Yeah.
Get started young. So, in terms of the wrestling side of things, who trained you, or who is training you?
AR Fox, aka
Fox,
aka the whole Foxen show, and I have a little inside joke to myself about what the A and the R means.
Okay.
I call him Aaron Roger Fox sometimes. Assault Rifle Fox. It's a lot of other ones that I really come up with. Those are the ones I could really remember right now. So
nice. Yeah. As you know, I have had a bunch of people from WWA4 on the show, man. And without exception, all of you guys represent yourselves and the school so well. I say this every time, but it is so true. Fox has so much to be proud of. I mean, because he's teaching you guys obviously how to wrestle, but he's also playing a part in shaping you guys into good human beings.
Yeah.
And and good stuff.
Honestly, I couldn't even think about having another trainer to start with specifically. He's so like really understanding. With he'll talk to whoever can listen about all the stuff that he's been through and whatnot. So it's kind of like it makes it so much easier for you to just come to him and be like, hey, I'm going through this, or hey, this is what's happening right now. And just at first he's a little intimidating because of how like stoic or to himself he can be, but once once he kind of shake that off, he's really cool to talk to.
Absolutely. So, in terms of the early portions of your pro wrestling training, what would you say was the hardest aspect of pro wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Um, so starting off, and Grace and Pierce actually helped me kind of click. He clicked with me on this. So first off, I have a background in martial arts. I did Taekwondo, Choi Kwando, and I did a little bit of Muay Thai.
Mhm.
When I thought I wanted to be an MMA fighter until I got kicked in the face and realized I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it was getting kicked in the face is cool. It's really the bare feet. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not a feet person, but um, it was more so the learning how to safely kick. Um,
Mhm.
I I don't want to toot my own horn, but I have some of the best looking kicks at A4, I should say. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but no, it was definitely learning how to properly do stuff because I'm so used to when I am doing martial arts to go full out and all this other stuff. So it was really just controlling, and then more on the physical side, cardio. I was never the best runner. I grew up with really hard ADHD, not ADHD, well that too, but really hard asthma, and
Mhm.
kind of stopped me. Like I'll play sports here and there, but it really stopped me from being as like getting to my potential, I guess. Yeah, definitely cardio, and I don't like running, but that's something you kind of just had to build up that in ring cardio, in ring stamina and stuff. So yeah, it's a mental game.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I've always been a fan of pro wrestlers that come from a shoot martial arts background because they tend to bring something interesting and something extra to the ring.
Yeah,
And they, somebody who has, uh, legitimate shoot martial arts background, they just carry themselves differently.
yeah,
And
yeah.
um, I mean, I never competed, but I trained for several years in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I was I've done a bit of grappling. I was never never a striker basically because I just didn't want to get hit in the face.
I Yeah, I'm quite the opposite. I did more so striking. Of course,
Mhm.
with jujitsu, I had a cousin that did jujitsu, and he's now a marine. I mean, he always knew what he wanted to do when he was younger, and
Yeah,
he used to put me in various of holes and say, "Hey, get out of this." And I kind of just learned how to
yeah,
wiggle my way out, but I would never say that I was a shoot grappler, or I would never call myself that. I preferred striking, preferably kicks.
gotcha. So, I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that
Oh
pretty accurate?
yes, loved. I mean,
Um,
I birthed right into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory?
My earliest wrestling related memory, I had a Nintendo 64, and um, if I'm not mistaken, it was either a Nintendo 64 or it was a PS2. I don't remember what it was, but the first memory I can remember is having the first SmackDown versus Raw in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't quote me on the first, but it was the 2004 edition. I know that for a fact, and I was playing as Rey Mysterio all the time. I was always a smaller person, whether it was me being skinnier, shorter than all my other cousins or whatnot. So I related to Ray, and um, that was after that I like my mom, even before I was born, she used to videotape. She used to have the, SmackDown, Raw, all those stuff recorded. Watched it
Mm-hmm.
when she was pregnant with me. When I was born, I was watching it with my mom, and it's something that even up until now, my little sister is 12, and she's been watching WWE since, she could even talk. So this is also what she wants to do. So it's kind of like it's a thing that we're forced into.
The family business.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Mhm.
being both a wrestler and a musician, you're kind of walking in two worlds,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of intertwine there. And so, has being a wrestler made you in any way a better musician, and vice versa? Has being a musician made you a better wrestler?
Um, I would say less of the wrestling and the musician aspect and more of just the performer, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling has showed me how to um, be a better performer in front of people. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I was the best performer. I wasn't the best when it came to like being able to just go out and say sing in front of somebody or something. I would do it. I've been doing it since I was young, but it was never really my you know it wasn't really my thing that I like doing. Um, but wrestling has definitely caused me to be better at it. And with being a musician, or even I also work in podcast industry. Also, with doing that, it allowed me to be um, kind of witty when it comes to, say, doing promos or knowing how to quick think of saying stuff. Yeah, it worked. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So, like I said before we went on the air,
Hmm.
I've sort of done a bit of a VonLaFlare deep dive, these past few days, just kind
Yeah.
of getting ready for this, and your music is amazing.
Thank you so much.
And like I said, I'm a hobbyist musician myself. I'm a bass player and guitarist,
Yes, sir.
and I and having the opportunity to talk occasionally to people that have both things in their lives is just like the coolest thing in the world for me. And I ran across on YouTube a video that you did of yourself doing one of your songs acoustically, and I just thought it was beautiful. And I'm going to actually share my screen and play this.
Yeah.
Um, so
Okay, I'll admit it. I think I did too much. Let my pride come between both of us. Oh, yeah. It was way too much. Now I want you back. You say I'm toxic. You say I'm not shit. Come through on a weekend, but you're thinking I lost it. 'Cause I too much to you. Okay, I'll admit it. I think I went too far. I dug too deep in this hole. I'm putting it straight to your heart. And none of your friends see I'm hopeless. I got way too many scars. I thought it was okay. You say I'm toxic. You say I'm not shit. Come through on a weekend, but you're thinking I lost it. 'Cause too much to you. Yeah. Sins of my past, I need to take it back. That's a fact, yeah. Baby, I need to relax. I'm having a heart attack. I try to be a man of my words, and that's true. But between me and you, keep saying I'm toxic. Keep saying I'm not shit. I come through on a weekend, you be thinking I've lost it. 'Cause too much to you. You say I'm toxic, you say I'm not shit. Come through on the weekends, thinking I lost it. 'Cause I did too much to you. Yeah, toxic, toxic. Oh, wait, I'm toxic. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, that song really uh, it speaks.
Thank you, man.
So I'm presuming you wrote that.
Yes, yes. I am a songwriter. I wrote that not necessarily about a situation that I had at that moment, but sometimes you just like go back and be like, you know, this can be really what's the word? Relatable to people. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I mean I am not toxic anymore. I'm pretty stable. I'm in a committed relationship. But at one point in my life I did do way too much, and so I it's yeah, it was really easy to write. I mean, you know, but
So what various instruments do you play?
I play guitar. I play the
Mm-hmm.
guitar on that track. I play keys, drums. I started off with saxophone. I know how to play a little bit of flute and woodwind instruments. I'm not really a brass player, and I want to learn violin. But as far as I've always been, I've always been more um, attracted to piano and guitar. So
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. You mentioned saxophone. My wife actually played tenor sax in the band in high school,
yeah.
long time ago.
I played
So.
tenor sax when I was in fifth grade, and then after going to middle school and seeing that the drum that the percussion they were able to go on the drum line from high school, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, I want to do that." And started doing drums, and then went from drums to then going to xylophone. I was like, "Oh, this looks like a piano." And then I saw Alicia Keys playing two pianos at once, and I was like, "I can do that." And didn't know how to play a lick of piano. My mom bought me my first piano. She was like, "You have to learn one song by the end of this month." And the first song I learned was "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. And
Nice.
it's been ever since then. It's been part of me. So
Gotcha. So away from wrestling and away from music, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
okay, so away from music and wrestling, honestly, I mean we talked about martial arts. I haven't done martial arts in a long time as far as going to a dojo, sparring and stuff like that. I still practice, especially now, make sure that my stuff look good. Cars, I love cars. I can talk about cars and working on cars and all that stuff. Um, and I love history. I love talking about wars, World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Korea. Um, I like talking about yeah, like history of the world,
Mm-hmm.
mythologies and just why the world is the way it is. That's one things I like doing. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't do too much outside of anime. I love anime.
Ah,
Yeah, love anime, anime comics and stuff like that. Play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh here and there, but as far as outside of that, all of that is just when I have free time, and a lot of time I don't have free time.
right,
Yeah.
right. But you know, another thing we have in common. I'm a history buff myself. Actually, my undergraduate degree is in history. So that's what I studied in college.
Hmm.
But you mentioned anime and everything, and we're mostly a wrestling show, but as you can tell, we dabble a little bit into pop culture.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for recommendations. So are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
Um, watching. Um, I haven't been watching that much anime. However, there's one that I found on YouTube. This guy was talking about it, and he made it sound so interesting. That tricked me into watching it. It's called what is that called? The mishap of no, the mischief of Demon King Academy. I think that's what it's called. And the first episode, amazing. First season, amazing. I don't know about the second season because I was only I in my mind I thought it was only one season. So when season two came on, I shut it off because I don't want it to go bad because it's a phenomenal first season. That Don to Don is a pretty good anime that I've been watching. I've been keeping up with the Boruto manga, uh, which I'm not really a manga reader. Sorry, but I've been keeping up with Boruto because Naruto is my favorite anime of all time. Uh,
Hmm.
and then for what I've been listening to, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but as far as music, this artist named McGee, MG.KEE. He's amazing. He worked on a lot of Justin Bieber's new project, and I automatically could tell from when I heard the first like guitar lick, I was like, "Oh, that's Mickey right there." Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's pretty good. Um,
And when you hear a lick and it draws you in, that's magic. I mean,
it's like the tone that he uses. It's like something that they don't even make that. I forgot what it's called, but they don't even make that. Um, it's a specific. It's a hardware. And it's a reverb, and
mhm.
it also has distortion on it, delaying. They don't even make it anymore. And like to get it, it's like expensive as shit. And it's so cool that I tried remaking it on like Ableton and finding videos of how to remake it using like plugins and whatnot. And I mean, it gets the job done, but it's not the same. And
Right.
plus you have to be a great guitarist, and he's way better than me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but
Gotcha.
I listen to a lot of the old school Prince, Michael. Listen to a lot of stuff like that. 80s, heavily influenced. So yeah.
Gotcha. Speed round.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley.
Wait, what am I supposed to? Oh, big.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
He is. He is. I didn't realize until the other day that he is as old as he is.
Yeah,
He's 40. He's 49. I did not realize that he was almost in his 50s. He
yeah.
doesn't look it.
He's one
I mean,
block. He's just one big block of muscle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 So, and this is another question kind of outside of wrestling and
Mhm.
outside of music. What person inspires you the most and why?
What person inspires me the most?
Hmm.
Um, Honestly, um, hmm. Even though it's a non-music or wrestling, question, I just Michael Jackson. He's like he's like the greatest ever. Like if you insert anything, I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson could do it. And it was like the one he was like the first person I ever saw and was like, oh, that's how magic works. And
Yep.
yeah, that's I mean that's just about it. I don't really know. I don't really have that many like I have things that people do that influence me, but as far as like influence, I kind of just any little thing could influence me. How you know how something looks. Like I like very minimalistic looking things that are sleek. Um,
Hmm.
I'm like, ooh, I can incorporate that in the sound choices I use, or I see something that's like very out there, and it's like, oh, let me, what if I put on very shiny short shorts and wrestle in them? Like, it's just stuff like that. It's like just whatever I just catches me. It's like, oh, let me. Sometimes I get influenced by people, by things or people that are so far out and weird that I try to get that weird and kind of bring it right back to where it's like, okay, I can work with this. We can do this, but I can also mix it into what I have going on in my brain.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, you're an Atlanta guy. Are you originally from the Atlanta area, or are you from somewhere else and ended up here, or what's the story with that?
It's gonna hurt all my people's hearts because I'm supposed to be the East Atlanta pop star, but I'm originally from New York. I'm originally from Queens, New York. My family, like I said before, my family's from Jamaica.
Hmm.
Me, my first cousins, we are the first generation born here, and me, my mom, and her sisters, we moved down here in 2006, and I actually stayed in Riverdale for about 2 years and 1 year until my brother died, and then we moved to the East Atlanta, Decatur, Lithonia, Stone Mountain area, and
Hmm.
I've been here ever since. And you know, yeah, it's been here up until college. I went to college in Florida, but came right back here, and East Atlanta definitely raised me. So it raised me to the point where, like, I mean, I was kind of forced. My cousins disclaimed me. They disowned me in New York, so I was kind of like, okay, I know more about Candler Road than I know about Jamaica Queens. So yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, and you've been here long enough that you can
Oh
definitely claim Atlanta.
yeah.
Um, so, what is your favorite thing about Atlanta?
My favorite thing about Atlanta is the culture. Term is very used loosely, but um, I just like how I like that there's always something to do.
Hmm.
One of the things I felt like being when I went to college in Orlando is like there wasn't really that much to do, and they didn't have great wings places, and I love wings. Like if we go to the studio or whatnot, I'm either gonna have wings, Arizona, or some trolley gummy worms, which I gotta stop doing. But yeah, I always try to find the best wings places. I always try to just find like what's going on in Atlanta. People talk about how like Atlanta's getting expensive, which I mean it is, but there's also a lot of things that's like you could just come in and be a part of. I mean, case in point, WWA4. I I just went on my Google Maps and looked up wrestling school and saw A4 and just drove there one day and haven't really turned back. So yeah, it's just that's what I like about Atlanta. It's never really a dull moment, but hate the traffic.
Awesome. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm here in the metro too, so yeah, the
It's
Atlanta
horrible.
traffic is just the worst.
Yeah, yeah. Music great, traffic zero. Won't
Yeah,
recommend.
yeah.
But
By the way,
mhm.
belated happy birthday.
Thank you. Yep.
Yes. 2 days ago.
July 15th. I was 25.
Wow, you are so young. I mean,
I don't feel like sometimes. KJ makes me feel like I'm old as dirt.
I'm gonna be 56 in September. So I mean, yeah, it's time flies, man. Soak it all in because
My one of my best friends early in the morning, she sent me this song called Halfway There by Big Time Rush, and I immediately understood what she was saying, and I cursed her out. I was like, "Don't tell me I'm halfway to 50. Don't tell me that." My dad was like, "You're a quarter century years old." I'm like, "Bro, I'm
yeah.
25. I'm not even like I still can be on your insurance right now, man. Like, come on."
So, a news item in wrestling that's been kind of a big thing this week is, Seth Rollins,
Yeah.
sustained an apparent knee injury at Saturday night's main event.
Mhm.
The severity is still unknown. Things are really kind of murky with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's some speculation that the whole thing is a work. What is your take on the Seth Rollins situation? Do you think he's working us, or do you think he's legitimately hurt his knee?
Well, everything's a work, brother.
Yeah.
I being of his history with knee injuries, or leg injuries in general, I definitely want to say if it is real, definitely prayers to him.
Oh, for
Also,
sure.
if he needs me to, I can hold on to his briefcase. I can just fill in that spot.
Yeah.
But nah, I I don't know. Honestly, I mean it could go either way. Honestly, it would be great if it was a work. I don't,
Oh, yeah.
something.
I mean, I would prefer it
Yeah,
for his sake that it is a work.
yeah,
But the whole reason that I'm kind of on the fence about it is the fact that they it's been almost a week now since it happened,
but they
and
haven't.
there's no definitive
Yeah,
this is what's wrong. It's just we're waiting for swelling to go
yeah.
down,
They're
and
still on the
I'm just
typewriter right now.
I'm kind of like
Yeah, nah,
we'll see.
they're on three dots right now, just waiting for a reaction. Like, yeah, you know what? Okay, we're gonna say this instead. Nah, yeah, if it was work, I mean, that would be really cool. People
Oh
thought
yeah,
that Kevin Nolan's thing was a work,
yeah,
um, and it turned out that it wasn't,
right,
or it is.
yeah.
Hey man, long term storytelling cinema. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be fun to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
so
that's all you can really do is just hope for the best and see how things play out.
yep.
So.
So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually pretty much yourself turned up to 11.
Oh yeah.
So, tell us about in ring Von and compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Um, they're the same, except in person, I'm not as obnoxious or cocky or talkative. Some people may feel otherwise, but I'm working them too.
Yeah.
I'm really good at playing. I'm really good at what's the word I'm using? Um, amping up the traits. I've
Hmm.
been doing it almost my whole life. I will go around, talk to anybody that's new, and then go back into my little huddle and be really quiet. I've always been like that. I've always been somebody that was just outgoing and just able to talk and able to perform basically. Um, and at first, ironically, I was gonna make VonLaFlare more of a martial artist until I realized, oh, it was cool to just like be me, I guess. Um, I felt like I was taking it way too serious. And the moment
Hmm.
actually shout out Alex Kane, he kind of told me if he basically said find 2 or 3 people or 2 to 3 characters or whatnot that aren't in wrestling that you would mold yourself to be. And also, with him saying that, I started thinking about me as an artist and thinking, oh man, it's always been like kind of hard to key pinpoint who, like they would say, if you was at a festival, who would you perform at right after? And I was like, ah, that's kind of hard because just all these different influences. And I just said, well, me, I guess. And it just turned into, okay, well, how can we do this thing as me? East Atlanta Pop Star is a funny tongue in cheek nickname that I started giving myself last year, outside of wrestling. And also a lot of my friends from college called me Pop Star Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. So Popstar was always like kind of a little nickname that I got from people that I worked with in music in the industry when I was in studios. And then nobody was able to pronounce Kavon, which is my name. And I'm like, it's Kavon. So they just said Vaughn. I was like, all right, cool. Vaughn. And I looked and I was like, oh, LaFlare. Oh, I got it right here. And that was basically it. And I said, whenever you hear that name, I wanted you to automatically think of, oh, this guy is either going to be flashy or what he does is flashy. And that was pretty much, I just took it from there and just said, we're going 1,000 with it. Like sparkle jacket, sparkle gloves, shiny shorts, and all. So,
Yep. So, tell us about your very first match. What
okay.
was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Lay it on us. Tell us about the first one.
Okay. I have two matches that I consider my first. One was a dark match that was it was right before the Thursday Night Live. It wasn't even recorded or nothing. So I don't talk about that match. It was cool,
Okay.
fine. I mean, that was my first match. It was like 3 weeks in or something. So whatever you think it went like that. Second
Okay.
match, which is the first match, was a 5-way match. It was a 5-way scramble with Jay Tyler, Alexander Quinn, KJ Valentine, and Don Cameron. And Don Cameron was the winner, and he gave me the craziest elbow drop, just dropped, and I was like, oh, this is how wrestling feels. Okay, and um, that happened. Jay Tyler threw the wildest clothesline, hit me straight in my jaw. My fault, but hit me straight in my jaw. And I was like, I'm always gonna remember that. And
Yeah.
but it went pretty well. I was definitely gave me a taste of how how like so many moving parts, how stuff like that works. And
Right.
it's honestly a lot easier to do than singles matches because you have times to kind of patter out, kind of be to yourself, be like, okay, what am I doing next? Stuff like that. When you're in a singles, it's like you gotta everybody's looking at everything, and so yeah, that was my first match. It was a 5-way.
Gotcha. So, we've heard about the first one. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
Okay, my favorite match that I've been a part of has been a match. It's so me and Jimmy Darren, formerly known as Jimmy Dynamite, have a little thing at the four. We've wrestled once. I won. And then the second time we wrestled, he picked up the victory, and that was probably my favorite match. That was the first time that I was able to kind of it's face versus face, but I was more the aggressor,
Hmm.
and with coming up with working on the match, we had a lot of input from Fox about how to just like because we can go one. I mean, he's just as athletic as me, probably better. He does a 450. I don't,
Yeah.
but um, we do the whole kicks, we do like all these stuff, and the dives and whatnot. And what Fox said was basically, hey, work the crowd, know how to let stuff breathe. And I kid you not, we did this one thing, and I'm not gonna lie to you. If in about 5 years I have the same knee problem as Seth, it's because of this match right here. We did a top rope gourd buster, and I landed on my right knee. And ever since then, it's just been like, oh, this kind of hurts. but but he's so dead, legit, for like maybe a minute, and to the point where like the crowd was chanting, "Is he dead?" Because he did not get up, and I'm over here like with the edge face, like, "Come on, get up, get up!" Like it was so crazy. And at that moment, I was like, "Oh, this is what it feels like. Ah, I get it." And so that's I go back and watch, and I'm like, "Oh, that was good. Oh, this was good. This was great." Like it was good. So I can't wait for number 3. I'm kicking him straight in his face.
Absolutely. Looking at the chat room on Instagram,
Mhm.
you mentioned Alexandra Quinn. She's in there,
Oh,
and she's making her presence known. And Missy Long, who was one of the one of my recent guests on here, asked, "What is your biggest advice for a kid looking to get into professional wrestling?" Because her son has aspirations for
okay.
becoming a wrestler.
I would say make sure that your outside life is, or as far as like school, you're being good at home. Make sure that those things are A1. Um, because the more you show that you can handle things outside that are mandatory, the more that your parents will allow you to do stuff that are extracurricular. That's one of
Right.
the problems I had as a child. It got to a point where, like, don't get me wrong, I loved learning. I was really smart. Um, but it got to a point where I just got tired of school, and I got tired of doing all the stuff. It was like, I already know this. Why am I still doing this? I passed all the tests, but I would never do homework, never do classwork. So I started failing. And my parents wouldn't, they would be like, no way, you're not doing martial arts no more. You're not doing basketball. You're not like, all these stuff. I was in ROTC. I had to leave ROTC because I had to take two math classes. I had to take calculus and advanced algebra that I failed in 10th grade. Um,
Hmm.
I I was in chorus. I had to get out of that because I had to take a science class. I love science, but I just wasn't. And it was physics. Physics is like my favorite, but I just wasn't paying attention. Or I just was so like, no, this is what I'm gonna do. Music is what I'm gonna do. Whatever. So I would say definitely make sure that you are having everything handled, and because as an adult, it's way harder to have stuff
Yeah.
handled. I just had to I just had to talk with my job about just allowing me to get off early on Fridays to be able to do shows. So it's definitely a you know yeah, that's pretty much it.
I keep telling my son, enjoy being a kid
Yeah,
because adulting is not all it's cracked up to be
yeah.
sometimes.
I told my sister that. My sister's 12, and she, like I said, she want to be a wrestler, and she's almost tall as me. Like she's gonna be tall, and
Hmm.
which I mean that's not saying nothing. I'm 5'6", 5'7", but she's like 5'3" at 12, and
Wow.
she has all like she sits here, go on Canva, make posters. She go on Word and make storylines and angles. Like she loves the Judgment Day, and
Oh yeah.
she makes storylines. I'm like, I was reading, I'm like, wait, this is actually pretty good. And so I try to bring her around whenever she does good. Whenever she
Hmm.
don't, however, I don't bring her around because I'm like, you have to know that this is a thing. It's a
It's a privilege.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a privilege. And
Yep.
sometimes kids they think that just because we did it once that you're um that it's a right to do it again. That's not true. So
Yeah. So Don Miguel asked you who's your favorite commentator.
Don Miguel is my favorite commentator. Come on, man. Don't tell
and
Alexander.
and he also said that he thought the pop star thing was a gimmick. He didn't know you did this for real.
Oh yeah, my whole life has been a work. Actually,
Yeah.
I did music and I became a real life pop star so I can become a pop star in wrestling. I mean, it's
Hey,
long
it's
term story.
all interwoven.
Yeah, long term storytelling.
And my wife Julia actually commented that you have a very smooth voice, and that
So much.
the song was incredible. So
Thank you. When I was younger, I used to imitate Michael Jackson.
so, and I know everybody has them, but
Mhm.
what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve?
My biggest in-ring pet peeve is when people make this little it's a certain breathing noise, and I've seen it mostly on social media where they're doing a move and they'll go shh, or
Yeah, I've seen that too. I know what you're talking about.
oh my god, and don't get me wrong, we used to do it in martial arts too. They'll call it a kiat. We'll
Yeah.
hey, but just sometimes it just makes it seem too performative, and it's
Yeah.
I don't like it. Yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. But also, I'm very sensitive to sounds. Like if I I can hear my dad snoring, stuff like that. My dog, the moment I have a dog, and whenever he shakes just a little bit, no matter he's in another room, my door's closed. No matter how like in my sleep I am, as soon as he shakes, I'm like, he's about to wake up, and I can just hear it. So sounds is very pet peeve to me.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a mix between a pit and something else that I don't know, and I haven't decided to look yet. But he's white. He's real nice. He sheds a lot, but he's
Hmm.
pretty. And he has this. He almost has this what is that, albino nose, where it's
Hmm.
kind of red, but he's not albino. He has a brown dot right on his butt. And
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
I got him for free at a shelter.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Great on the mic. Um,
Okay.
we've seen so many wrestlers that um, I'm no room to talk, but we've seen so many wrestlers that weren't the best in the ring, but were great on the mic. And I mean, you can be great on the mic and not even be a wrestler. You can end up being a Paul Heyman, or what I
Yeah.
mean, Enzo Amore, which he was a good wrestler, but his mic skills.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Chris Jericho can't do anything else, he knows how to talk on the mic. So I would say and then a lot of times with a lot of the old school a lot of old school heels, they'll just they'll do one move, two moves, and then turn around and start like talking trash, and you just generate heat for that, and any reaction is a reaction. So I would
Yep.
rather get a reaction from from me talking than just do all these crazy moves, and it's it's a nothing burger, you know? And so yeah.
Gotcha. I'm noticing Salem Alexander's in the chat, and she says, I love you, Von Lagoat.
I love you, Salem. Nah, Salem's a goat, man.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that it's kind of like comfort food. You just find yourself going back to it, and it's just it never really gets old, and you always find something new. Do you have such a match?
Um my I'm a huge Kenta fan.
Hmm.
Kenta's one of the greatest to me.
Oh
He
yeah.
popularized a lot of moves. Um, Kenta versus Brian Danielson in Ring of Honor. I don't remember the year. I think it's between 2006 and 2009. I don't necessarily remember the year. Um, but that was back when Brian was working heel, and Kenta had the brown and yellow trunks. He's so cool. CM Punk, John Cena, SummerSlam. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny and Okada, Dominion 2018. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest hardcore fan. I'm not the biggest blood person. However, I had to do my research on Fox, and his match with with now with Killshot. Um,
Mm-hmm. Swerve. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, who the hell am I about to get trained by? I was scared. I was like, what?
Yeah,
So
you're fixing to get trained by a savage.
yeah, I mean, I'm like, nah, man. So those are. I mean, there's more that I can name. One that I go to a lot, just like I also love Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander, and their match in the Cruiserweight Classic, something I go
Mm-hmm.
to all the time. Fox has another one with AJ Styles. They were in like this barn basically, and it was crazy. It was amazing. Um, AJ versus AJ versus anybody. Like
Yeah.
um, the triple threat. The triple threat for the X Division. Um, yeah, with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels.
Oh
That
yeah.
was great. Yeah, those. Oh, also triple threat with Kenny Omega, um, Tyler Black, and Brian Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
I just found out like 2-3 months ago. And I was like, where was this? And I was talking to one of my friends who he's been like he's like 13 years older than me. He's basically like my older brother, but he he's been a big wrestling fan, but he wasn't a independent wrestling fan per se. And
Mm-hmm.
he asked me, why do I put Brian Danielson so high, which he called him, Daniel Bryan. And I said, well, there's a difference between Daniel Bryan and Brian Danielson. And
Yep.
this match right here, these two, I'm gonna show you what the difference is. And he was like, oh, he's amazing. And I'm like, I know, right? So yeah.
Yep. So, piggybacking on that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll the pipe bomb. I was there. That was like my first year back into wrestling. It was fun. Well, it's not fun, but like a little side story. Um, I had a little brother. He passed away from enlarged heart.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
and his heart collapsed on 2007, and we was watching SmackDown, I believe. And after that, I kind of wasn't. I was scared to watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that we were wrestling, and I felt like it was my fault because I would always push me, him, and my cousin to wrestle. It wasn't my fault. It happened. We all were born with some form of a heart condition. Um, Another reason why I was in and out of sports, and another reason why I was kind of scared to do cardio. But I had got back into it after my sister was or shortly before my sister was born in 2013, and I saw the pipe bomb, and I saw the I I went over to my friend's house next door because my mom at the time she wasn't or couldn't pay for the pay per views, so
Mm-hmm.
um we went next door, and one of my friends, he had the pay per views, he had the big titles, he got me back into wrestling basically. And it's funny that now he texted me like when I did my first match. He texted me, was like, "Hey man, I remember we used to like do backflips and 450s and stuff on off my trampoline. Now you're actually wrestling. That's like dope." So um yeah, I'm sorry, I lost topic, but CM Punk pipe bomb. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, who are the best male and female wrestlers in the world right now? One man and one woman. Who is the top of the game at this moment?
Um. Dang. EO Sky
Mm-hmm.
and the male is so hard.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I feel like I'm just gonna be mad basic and say Will Ospreay. Like that's
Yeah, I can't argue that. I mean, he's. I mean, he is operating on
a different
an amazing level right now.
um I don't even like I don't even know what sometimes I just look at like how do you even come up with that?
Yeah,
And how can you even like have the ability to just keep that up? And sometimes I look and I'm like, okay, this is way too much. But I can understand like, oh, that's like athlete in this wrestling industry. Bro, nobody like it's I mean, yeah, him or him. I can't see. I can't even say like AJ or Kenny right now. And like, I love AJ and Kenny. I love what's his name Takeshka. Like,
yeah,
but just they don't do it as often as they don't go to that level as often as with us. We'll do it on like a collision if you wanted to, or like
yeah,
on a regular dynamite. It's crazy. So
yeah.
yeah, Will and EO Sky.
Gotcha. So, and this can be present day or past.
Hmm.
Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would you love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
Will, um, Kenny, um, Okada, Naito, Kenta, of course, Leo
Yeah.
Rush, Air Fox.
I
Um,
think you and Leo Rush could have a fun match.
I gotta change my hairstyle. I would have to change my hairstyle first. No, yeah, like I was just watching some of his stuff as the Blackheart, and it's
Hmm.
funny because like as much as I like to call myself a nerd of it, I'm not as nerdy as some people are when it comes to wrestling. And I just found out about like the whole thing of the Blackheart thing.
Hmm.
I went and I was watching a lot of his independent stuff. Um, but like I was like, wait, this is a whole like he's wrestling different like all this other stuff, and that's something that I liked from say like a Finn Balor or from uh um Muda, Muda versus Great Muda, like how they separate who they are for the moment. That's something that I would even dabble into having different characters and whatnot. And yeah, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, of course, Okada. Um, I think me and I think me and Amazing Red would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, I think me and Chris Jericho would have been pretty fire too. Um, yeah, The Miz. I love The Miz. Like
Oh yeah.
his edge. Like yeah. So it's a lot, but definitely I mean realistically, Kenta, Leo, Will, Fox, and I know Kenta only had but so many years left for real. For real,
Right.
he's doing it for a minute. But you know, yeah, I would have loved to catch AJ and Kenny, but
Yeah. So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
okay. Um, One of my favorite moves, um, one that I do, I love doing a tornado kick.
Hmm.
It's so cool because it seems so complicated, but yet it's so easy. And um, also, it's a move that I adopted from martial arts and just said, "Oh, this is actually a move. Okay, let me do it." Um, that um, yeah, that's something like I love doing that move. I do it in almost all of my matches. Whether it's that or it's handspring enziguri, I do that a
Hmm.
lot too. Another move that I like that I don't do yet um, is a curb stomp. I love the curb stomp. It's just such a out of all the moves, just let me just stomp on your head. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Out of all the moves that you would think, he can do the Phoenix Splash, he can do all this other stuff. Stomp, just a regular stomp. That's fire to me. I Go to sleep is another move that I really love, but too many people in the indies adopted that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a CM Punk guy, but nobody's a Kenta guy.
Yeah. And who did it first, Kenta or
Kenta,
Punk?
Kenta,
Kenta.
Kenta's
That's what I
been
thought. That's what
Kenta's
I
been there
thought.
since 2001.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, Kenta originated a move. He originated that move. He originated the Busaiku knee. He
Hmm.
originated the double stomp. The way that him and Finn do it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he originated some other stuff too. I mean, the the way he does, like the way him and Brian Danielson do, like the kicks to the chest and just like all those things. He did it. His various shotgun drop kicks and whatnot. Um, Honestly, you can look at a newer match of me and look at Kenta and be like, oh, I see it. I see the you know
The influence.
Prince.
Yeah.
Prince say a good artist borrow, a great artist steals. So
Yep.
you know, but move that I I don't really know if there's a move that I don't like taking. There's one move that I took once really bad. I took a DDT from I was like trapped in the on the turnbuckle.
Hmm.
He gave it to me, and I messed it up by like just my hand just said, "I'm not protecting you," and I went head first. But I don't really know. I don't really have a mat. It's kind of just like I've got cannonball. I've gotten hit in the mouth or in the jaw so many times. I've gotten splashed on. It's to the point where it's like every move feels like another move that you've taken before. And the
Yeah.
move, like I was afraid to do a Canadian Destroyer, and when I realized, oh, this is mad easy. Yeah, I was like, oh, I can do it. I can take it. I can do it and stuff like that. So it's not really. I mean, it's really, who are you willing to trust to give those
Right.
moves? It's really based on that.
Right. And that's a lot of it. If you're with an experienced and safe worker, you can really do just about anything and come out the other side, fairly unscathed.
Right. I mean, yeah. You know.
So, you haven't been doing this that long, but I know that wrestling takes its toll on your body. So I'll ask, what hurts right now?
My left shoulder and my right knee. I've always kind of had a little bit of a knee problem. I got
Hmm.
into a motorbike accident when I was young, and that kind of made my knees sensitive.
Hmm.
Uh, I fell off the bike, and like skid right on my knee and hurt my knee. Had like the little had a little bone showing and whatnot. But
Hmm.
uh, and then shoulder, there was a little accident in training where this guy went to powerbomb me and kind of, he was new to it and kind of over rotated me slamming,
Mm-hmm.
and as before I can like get hit on my neck, I kind of turned and landed right on my shoulder. And ever since then, it's kind of just been like, I feel it, but it's nothing that I can, not overcome. I dislocated my wrist once, didn't even know until the next day
Wow.
when I tried to do push-ups and was like, oh, this hurts a lot. Um, so yeah, I mean, honestly, I always say nothing really hurts when you get punched in the nose, and I've been punched in the nose a lot before wrestling. Nothing really
Yeah.
hurts anymore. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
um, as far as I can tell, it's there. I mean, social media is there's always pros and cons. The pros of with the pros of it with wrestling and indie wrestling, you're able to get yourself out there. You're able to find things. It's not just word of mouth anymore. You can reach out to somebody, or somebody can reach out to you, and it's like, oh, now I'm booked in, you know, Indianapolis, or I'm booked in Tennessee now, or you know, and as as what we've seen with say Karrion Cross, or with a Effie, or with a Matt Cardona, like you can get
Mm-hmm.
yourself over on social media, and
Yep.
then like you don't need a corporation. People think that just being in like I look at wrestling just like how I look at music industry. People think just because you're signed to a label, or you're in the corporation of wrestling, of professional wrestling, that that's what is going to be giving you the big bucks, where some of these guys in independents are making more than some of the guys that's some of the I don't want to like say anything bad about, because like being on WWE is like big in itself. Being on AEW is big in itself. But some of these guys are making more than the ones that are not the top 10% of
Right.
those, and that's just what it is. Um, I was once in a production deal with the label, and I didn't really get anything from um I didn't really get anything from versus me just doing it my like going out and just doing it myself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's there's pros and cons. You can build yourself, but then also some people have Twitter fingers. I try to be as diplomatic as I can be when it comes to talking about certain things, because you never know who you're gonna offend. You never know who you're gonna get in front of. You never know. You spend all these years talking about WWE. Now, um, you know, a recruiter's right in your face, and they're like, "Oh no, we know about you. You said this. You trashed it, like stuff like that." Because like these are companies are personal about their shit. So
Yeah.
um, I mean, we've seen that with is I'm not saying no names, but we've seen it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, knowing everything you know after 25 trips around the sun,
hmm
if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
um do if you feel the itch for it, do it. I mean, I had just turned, I was probably like 3 or 4 months after turning 24,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting back, I was getting into, okay, I want to start eating healthy again. I want to start, working out again and whatnot. And that led me into, oh, I think I can do this. And funny enough, my mom supported me through music. My mom supported me through like everything I've done, but wrestling was the one thing I was afraid of doing. And the moment I told her, Mom, I got into a wrestling school, and no, I'm not going to tell you how much it cost because you're going to smack me. But she said her legit words was, I've been telling you to do this since you was in Orlando. And I went to Full Sail, and at the time, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
still NXT's right there, Performance Center is right there. It's like NXT Performance Center is right there, and I said, "Well, Mom," I started laughing because I'm like, how how just the sheer like blissful ignorance of thinking that I could just walk into NXT and say, "Hey,
Here I
I
am.
yeah, I on never wrestled a day in my life, but I can do some good kicks." No, that's not how that works. So, but it was really funny just seeing how, like, even my dad. I told my dad, he was like, that checks out, and he told me the story about when they were pregnant with me about my mom always recording all the Smackdowns and the Raws and Batista being her husband and like stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, why did I think of this sooner? I could have just not went to college. Go to
Well,
college, kids. Get
yeah,
get your education.
yep.
But I would say if knowing what I know now, I could have done this at 20 versus 24, 25.
Hmm.
And now I'm thinking, dang, because like during the pandemic, it just felt like a lot of stuff went by.
Yeah,
And don't get me wrong, I'm still like I don't consider music or wrestling greater than the other. I Both of them are where I'm trying to go, but um, I just feel like I could have done something earlier, and
yep.
so that's really it. Just you should have done it. What are you afraid of? Don't be a pussy. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. But,
So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
um, okay, so even before the curtain, I always during for Thursday night live,
Hmm.
I go to the gas station. I get 3 Gatorades. One is a fruit punch and something else blend. That's for KJ. And
Okay.
then Alex normally just tells me she normally just tells me get whichever one I'm getting. I normally get her the blue one. I get white, and I get a beef jerky, and that is I always do that every Thursday night live. I have do that because a lot of times I just got off work and I didn't eat, so I'm like, okay, let me get some type of protein in my stomach. Boom. Before I get in, before we go out, if it's a singles match, I do my breathing exercise. I just sit there and be as silent as possible, as still as possible, calm, slow down my heart rate, um, put my shades on, and I'm stoic. And if it's me and my tag partner Tom, you know, I, I slap him. I'll be like, no, we got this, we got this, we got this. And then I go over and like I said, I'm as calm as I can be until that music hits, and that's when I go out there and just go. But yeah, when I'm in behind the curtains, it's just straight face, silent. I'm ready to do this. Okay.
Gotcha. So, just kind of a quick rundown on this. What all do you carry in your gear bag? Do you
Okay.
carry anything unusual or unique?
I used to have this really big dagger. The knife is like this long. No, it's like the blade is like this long. Why did I carry that? Is because I couldn't find the scissors and I really needed to cut something, so I just
Okay.
threw my knife in there. But no, um, deodorant, cologne. I have about 4 or 5 pairs of shades depending on what I wanted to do. Um, my black leather gloves, my white Michael Jackson sparkly gloves, hair sponge. I have um curling cream for my hair, um, lotion. People be ashy, and you know, so um, yeah, that I mean, all the hygiene stuff. That's pretty much it. That's what I carry, and
Gotcha.
I always make sure I have I have an ankle, what's it called? Little ankle wrap support thing.
Hmm.
Um, because for some reason, whenever like it's only when I wrestle my left ankle wants to like hyper extend or something, and I don't know why, but especially when I'm doing like certain things like handspring and stuff like that. So always gotta make sure I have that on. So that turned into my left wrestling shoe being a little bigger than my right one. But yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty much it. A lot of shades. I have a lot of glasses.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And so, my previous guest is a Florida based wrestler, the Influence Wilson Dyer. And
Okay.
the question that he posed for you is what has been, thus far in your wrestling career, what has been your favorite memory outside of the ring? In wrestling, but not an in-ring memory. What's been your favorite?
Um, my favorite memory in wrestling has been KJ might be mad about me telling the story, but I'm sorry, man. Me, KJ, and Grayson went to EPW in Mississippi one day,
Okay.
and we all took turns driving.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I didn't drive down. I drove coming back, but we took turns driving, and um, Grayson went to sleep. We was using Grayson's truck. He went to sleep in the back. Me, KJ, listening to music, whatever. Everything's going fine until the car starts slowing down, and we're like, "Wait, what's going on?" So I look at the gas, and I'm like, "KJ, you didn't, you wasn't gonna tell us that we was out of gas?" and and he's like, "Man, I wasn't even paying attention. We have like we literally had maybe like 6 minutes left to drive, but like 6 minutes turning into a walk is about an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah.
and because it was just a straight road, and we had to wake up. We had to wake up Grayson and basically tell him what happened, and he was kind of peeved. Not at me, more so at KJ. I mean, that was a rough weekend for KJ, but that that I kind of recorded me talking about it, but I'm like, that was the funniest thing ever. Cause I'm like, how did that even happen?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the next guest?
Hmm. Question I would like to pose to the next guest would be hmm, the dream match thing is so cliche. I'm gonna try something different than that. Um, what was the moment that made you think maybe this is not what I'm cut out for? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. So basically, what was the moment that made you rethink wrestling?
Hmm. Well, that's actually a really good question. How would you answer that?
Um, all, all of these like just I mean, when you're younger, you just hear like all these like things about pile drivers and like somebody's neck getting broke or like and it's like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Or like simple moves like a leg drop or an elbow um turning into, someone like Hulk Hogan losing 4 inches. And, I'm already short. I can't lose any more inches, man.
Yeah.
So, but all also guys looking like super brolic and like juiced up, and it's like, you know, I don't know anybody that does that, but and I guess that's kind of the great thing about where wrestling is now, where it's a lot. more like a lot of folks are health conscious. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
folks take the time to go get massages or go in saunas or go in cold plunges and whatnot. It's not just I'm about to down some pills because I feel like this. And
Right.
and so growing up, and even when I first started, that was like one of the first things my mom said was, "I hope you don't, you know, hope you don't start getting on steroids." And I'm like, "Ma, there's like so much other things out here that are natural. Or there's like just other ways that you can like cope with things that you're doing."
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Absolutely. So, taking a glance over at the Instagram chat, Jada Marie 101 is in there, and she says your favorite. She says that you're her favorite wrestler.
oh man, thank you.
And I noticed Neji Ichiban just joined the
Hi,
chat.
Neji. He's
Love
my
Neji.
favorite.
Man, I had Neji on a while back, man, and
Yeah.
he is such a good dude.
I would love to wrestle Neji and or the Dark Passion Assassins.
Oh yeah, Dante.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, Neji's one person I can always like text and be like, "Hey, I have an idea," or "Hey, I have a question about this." Um, that I mean, even Dante's helped out with just helping me get on shows, helping me and Tom with our tag team, Pop Rock, just like kind of just pushing us into like, hey, these guys right here, they're really cool, and he helped me get on my first time going or my second time going to PWR in
Hmm.
Athens. He kind of just pushed me out there, and I ended up getting on the match. Me and Alex, they needed two people for four way, and that was pretty good. That was such a great experience because it was one match where we didn't really call anything. We called
Hmm.
we called her shine, and we called me cutting her off by super kicking her in the face. And that was
Yeah.
my first time. Like every time me and Alice been in the ring together, she's German. She's Germaned me. She's kicked me, and I got tired of it. So I said, this time I'm kicking you straight in your shit. But
Yeah.
no, it was really fun. And even like at the very end, where it was like, okay, we know how it's supposed to end up. I look at guy Nitrous. He's on the he's laying down by the corner, and I
Hmm.
just go like, okay, please take this and just slide out. So I just ran, super kicked him. He slid. I was like, yes. And then she took out the other guy. Then was like, okay, this is the last moment. Go, I go for my running knee. She move out the way, hit me with the ripcord spine buster, and then Nitrous comes in, push her out, and pin me. But we literally put that match together at Curtain,
Nice.
and they were just like, feel it out. There was a moment where there was a moment where the two heels that was in there, they pin, like one person did something, pin, another person get up and pin, and instead of the kick out, I'm like, oh, I think I should go out there and stop it. So I went out there and broke it, and afterwards they were like, yo, that was great thinking, whatnot, and so it was really good to be able to just like not think everything through
Right.
and kind of just go out there and work.
Right.
So yeah,
So we're pretty much at the end of things at this point.
sure.
So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to? You got any new music coming out?
Yeah.
Lay it on us.
Okay, so so of course, Bruised and Infused for BWA is tomorrow. I'm hoping to be on there. Um, we have that tomorrow at Krog Street at 7:30. Doors open at 6:30. Um, we have a going out to Pro South Wrestling in what's that, Piedmont, Alabama, next Friday. that should be pretty fun. That was going to be my first time out there, so hopefully, we get on and we show why they need a pop star in their life. And
Absolutely.
right after
Everybody
that,
everybody needs a pop star in their life.
everybody needs a pop star. Right after that is PWA at Wild Wings Cafe in Alpharetta. That's next Saturday. And then the next scheduled show that I'm pretty sure I'm a part of is August 9th, PWR in Athens. Be there. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be our the debut over there as a tag team, Pop Rock Connections um with Don Thomas. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty dope. Music wise, I have a new song that I'm working on. Art's done, but coming out it is called Up All Night. It's really groovy. It's something. Yeah, it's a good track. It is what am I saying? It is an amazing track. Actually, it's the best song you're ever gonna hear, and it's gonna be
I'm
out
excited.
within the next month or so. So yeah, something a little different than what I normally do. But I'm looking to speed up tempos. I DJ, so I like to see what works and what doesn't. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's working. So
Very
yeah,
cool. Very cool. Well, as far as what we've got coming up on the Throwdown, this
sir.
coming Monday,
Hey,
the 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 139 with a luchador from Iowa who is actually a product of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. He's trained under Rollins and Merrick Brave and Matt Mayday.
I want to go
uh,
out there one day.
El Pringle,
Okay.
and he's all that and a can of chips.
Cooking.
Yep. So I'm definitely excited to have him on.
Yes, sir.
And then next Wednesday, the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 140 with South Carolina's own, the Palmetto cult classic, James Johnson. He is something of a fixture up at Palmetto Championship Wrestling under Ethan Case and that group.
Where's that
And
at?
um, South Carolina, I believe the Columbia area, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's what's coming up next week. But honestly, I'm booked up pretty much through the end of August. So I've got a lot more stuff coming down the pike and a lot more things to announce. But man, I have had the best time with you, Von. So
Thank you.
thank you for coming on. This has just been a blast.
Sure.
And, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've got a link tree on my Instagram bio that's got all of my various socials. So, take a second and, give me a follow and all that good stuff. And before we wrap this up, do you have any final words for the audience?
My final words is life is a fleeting moment and those moments shall pass. So how would you make yours last? And, just go out there and do everything you ever wanted to do because right now that's what I'm doing and I'm loving it.
That's awesome, man. And you have such a bright future ahead of you. I mean, I'm excited to follow your career because I think good things are coming.
Thank you.
And so until Monday, when I'll be back with El Pringle. In the meantime, everybody be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing down.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang.
Thanks for listening to episode 138 of the Throwdown with Matt. Von and I had a great time together. Among many other things, it was interesting hearing about how he manages to walk and balance the two worlds in his life, music and professional wrestling. As for what's coming, this Monday, July 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be live with episode 139 with Iowa-based luchador El Pringel. This Wednesday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be live with episode 140 with my guest, South Carolina-based pro wrestler, the Palmetto Cult Classic, James Johnson. Be sure to make plans to join us live on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, and Twitch and interact with us. If you can't make it live, the videos will be available on those platforms, and the podcast will be available within a few days afterward. As always, if you like what we have going here, spread the word, follow me on my socials, leave comments, and maybe even drop us a review. Any or all of that will help us to continue to grow. Have a great rest of the week, and keep throwing down.